Here are a couple of questions you may have. 1. What issue does this approach aim to solve? It aims to enable students to work collaboratively and creatively to create and perform original compositions using classroom percussion. 2. Why is this relevant or interesting? The relevancy is to creative expression that is included in the TEKS. Classes are increasingly growing in size, with the amount of time we see our students declining in some cases. This approach to a creative composition unit will hopefully encourage other teachers who might feel they lack the time or resources to implement something like this with their students to give it a try. Grade 4, Creative Expression. The student creates and explores new musical ideas within specific guidelines. The student is expected to A. Create rhythmic phrases through improvisation or composition. B. Create melodic phrases through improvisation or composition. And C. Create simple accompaniments through improvisation or composition. Assemble necessary materials: clipboards, composition planning sheets, and pencils. Label barred percussion to help students get the same instruments on day 2 and 3 of the project. Create instrument tubs. To save time and prevent issues, all tubs get similar instruments: one egg shaker, one hand drum, a pair of rhythmic sticks, and a triangle. All materials are set aside and ready to go on day 1. Decide how you'll record it. I use a digital recorder, but recordings could also be made using a voice recording app on a smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Groups can be chosen or assigned. Be sure to remind students about expectations for finding groups to work with. Also, for the purposes of this assignment, groups should be 4 or 5 students each. Here's a suggested timeline. Day 1. Introduce project to discuss expectations, group formation, and planning. Important not to pass out instruments for a while, as students may spend the majority of time experimenting and exploring the instrument rather than planning composition with their group. Using note cards, I walk around the room and go to each group, allowing them to pick a card. This will be their pitched percussion assignment. Prevent those arguments over which group will get to play the bass metallophone. Day 2. Redistribution of materials. Continue playing and rehearsing. Recording of compositions will happen for the final 15 minutes of this class period. To make this process go quickly, I go from group to group on day 2, lining them up in a recording order. This prevents a waste of time. Not having to go, okay, who's next, and dealing with the no, we're not ready. Day 3. Reflection and sharing of compositions. They can listen to other classes if they are able to as well. I will have also emailed them to other teachers. Some teachers share through their webpage or weekly newsletter as well. This is usually a Friday or a 25-minute class for me at my campus, so we don't have a lot of time. There have been some years where I've had to record projects on this day, but usually they are all done on day 2. I use a Tascam DR-05 digital recorder in class, which records directly to MP3. It's easy to hook up to my computer afterwards via USB to access files. Any voice recording app on your phone or tablet would also work. I coach the groups to look at me when they are done. That way, I will know when to actually stop recording. Students in the room hold their applause until they see that I have dropped the recording hand. Compositions are uploaded with just the name of the group, no student names. Compositions are uploaded with just the name of the group, no student names, to the web using Dropbox, Google Drive, or upload directly to a teacher website. Some teachers like to include links to the page in their weekly newsletters. I would encourage this. Parents are always glad to hear their children's compositions. Students also are encouraged to go to the site to hear other compositions from other classes who have participated in the project. Most compositions are anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute and 30 seconds in length. The majority are about 30 seconds, however. Consider your students and the situation. Consider your particular rotation schedule and class size. Also consider the needs and abilities of your students. Each year, I change a little something. Be flexible and reflective. Look for connections in other areas of your curriculum. I've introduced this project in conjunction with composer studies, in particular, Brazilian composer Heitor Villa-Lobos, the little train of the Caiapara from Bachianas, Brazil, Iras, number 2. You can tell your students. Just as he, Villa-Lobos, used a lot of neat percussion instruments to depict the sound of the train in his composition, we'll be using percussion to create our own original works here in the music room over the next few days. Give clear expectations. Know that it will be noisy, but really emphasize the difference between what it sounds like when somebody is practicing or working on their xylophone part and when they're just playing around. Yes, some exploration is necessary, but they need to know the difference. Be ready for the noise. Establish a signal for when things get too loud. I've also had to call for no instrument time that forces them to really talk to each other. It's very important on their planning sheets. I emphasize the importance of knowing how their performance will start and how it will finish. And have fun. Remind them that this finished product, a recording, is really just their latest rough draft. Mistakes might happen, but you should just keep playing. No one but them will even know, so don't stop. I usually remind them of what someone once told me. If people wanted to hear perfect music, they'd go buy a CD. This is live performance. Have fun. In summary, original composition activities can be executed in large group classrooms with careful planning and preparation. Don't let the large class size and limited class time prevent you from engaging students in this type of activity. Activities like this encourage creativity and collaboration among your students. Allow students the opportunity to work collaboratively with their peers. Sharing with the community reaches beyond the walls of your classroom. Teachers, staff, community members, and parents have all commented in the past of how much they enjoyed having the opportunity to hear the compositions. By recording them and providing access to people who cannot be there physically to hear them, you're reaching way beyond the walls of your classroom and letting the community know how amazing your young musicians can be.